嗨，大家好，今天呢，我很高兴请到我的朋友，也是一位certified 的 parenting coach， 就是教养的教练。然后我们今天呢，在美国的亚特兰大。然后呢，为什么我要邀请这位朋友来跟我们聊天呢？是因为呢，其实除了他是一位教养的教练以外呢，他其实也是2个小孩的妈妈。那他之前呢，在美国的纽约。小孩在美国纽约读书受教育，而且也在欧洲。现在他们住在 Spain， 那个西班牙。所以呢，我很想今天就是难得有这个机会可以跟他聊一聊，到底在不同地方的教育有什么不一样？对于家长教养来说有没有什么不一样？好，让我们来大家欢迎一下我的朋友叫 Julia Marcus。然后呢，等一下我们会用英文对话，但是呢，我会加字幕让大家了解我们的对话。OK。Hi Julia. Hi. Good. Thank you so much today for having this interview with us, so you can talk to our parents in global Chinese community, like maybe they're in Taiwan or Singapore or in Hong Kong, wherever. But first of all, I would like to ask some questions about Julia. Since you are very unique, you have 2 kids. They both study in New York and also in Spain. Can you tell us a little bit different about the education, either the system or the way they teach in New York and Spain?
Yes, it's a very good question because there are 2 very different systems. So in New York, they are all about the social emotional learning of the child. They do want the kids to have good grades, and of course they want the children to learn. But they believe if they don't have that foundation, the children won't be able to really acquire all the knowledge, to be free, to be calm, to not be anxious. So first they take care of the basics, while of course doing the academics. In doing some research, I found out that all the academic part of the day can be taken care of in 2 hours a day. So our children usually spend 8 hours, between 5 and 8 hours in school. With 1 hour and a half or 2, they are fine. This is in elementary school. From 1st to 6th grade, that is enough. And then the rest of the time in New York, they are taking care of their movement, art, creativity. And then for all children who are more academic focused or struggling more in academics, they only encourage the children to read and write. And that's when their thoughts come up, when their questions come up, when they start really learning by reading and then writing. So that was my experience in 12 years raising my children in New York. Then I moved back to Spain, and I go there, and it was back when I was living in Spain, all about rigorous academic information, memorizing, a lot of data, like pages and pages. And they want to do things differently, and they say they are evolving, but it's taking them time. So what is causing them? Not only my children who were not used to that. I've seen my children's classmates really anxious every day because they are being tested every week, and there's always a consequence. If they don't have good grades, then they're not doing good enough. They are put in the red list. If the homework is not well done, they get a big scratch, red, not understood, not good, bad. It doesn't seem like the kids are learning that much by doing that, but it's causing a lot of anxiety. Another important information, by subtracting them from the reading and reading anything they like, not only what it's required, but anything that it's interesting to them. They can't think for themselves. The other part in the writing, I noticed in Spain, they don't start writing a blank page. They always write the question, and then the answer, and then repeating, and then write what it says on the book. And then it comes Mother's Day. So when Mother's Day comes and they have to write a card to their mom, they write this poem that the teacher gave them.
Oh, so they are not writing from their heart.
No, it's just someone already.
It's like a script. They just copy it.
Because in Spain we had great writers in the past, like in the 16th century. So we just worship.
I see.
I see in the New World the difference between. In the New World, it's all about you are the new writer. Let's see what you can come up with.
Right.
In Spain, is everything great has already been written. They don't say this, but that's what they imply. It's like we just need to learn from the graders. 8 hours a day. That's our job. So keep doing it, and maybe at 24, when you are out of college, you can come up with something.
Right. Well, personally, I find it so surprising that how Spain's education is quite similar to a lot of places in Asia. But then I'm very curious to understand like how parents in general, not you, okay, how parents in general react to like two different kinds of education styles. First in New York and then maybe later in Spain.
In New York, I think everyone is pretty much on board with the system they have in place. I think they've tried the old one, it didn't work quite well, and they are very satisfied with the system. It's a very progressive system, centered in the child, understanding that every children is different. In the old world, because this doesn't only happen in Spain, I feel like in France, in Portugal, in Italy, they are still a little bit stuck. The old way predicates on there are a lot of things to do, a lot of things to learn, lack of opportunities. The job, the positions are limited,
right.
So we need to be on the race.
Competition.
We are on the race, and we need to be the smarter because we have this big test by the end of high school.
Right.
And if you don't have a good score in the test, you don't get in college.
The elite school. No, you get into college.
You
not
get
the
to
elite
end,
school, right?
Yes. You don't choose, but that this is sad and true. Not only you don't get in elite school, no, it's more than that. You don't choose to study what you want.
Okay.
Get what you are, what no one else.
If I understand correctly, so parents are more like pushy. So what you said, they're happy with the emotional intelligent part.
In New York. In Spain, I think they're happy with what they have. More and more I see young people listening more to other ideas and more open, but still sometimes scared. Is fear what drives them. So they are scared that their kids are not gonna have a good job in the future because they see the limitations. They see like few opportunities only for a few ones.
I see. Okay, so then how about you? Because you are a certified conscious parenting coach. I wonder how you take on parenting your kids in different places. Either you have different tactics or maybe you have tips to share with parents.
Yes, so I try to adjust and adapt. So now I'm in Spain. I cannot completely forget that I'm there and the kids are going to be graded in this system. So I try to help them, but always tell them we are not aiming for the A grade. For the grade is A. For the 10, we have 1 to 10 grade. We don't need a 10, but we are going to study and we are going to have a pass and we're going to do what we can. They're each one of them because they are very different. So I will push a little more to the one who can do more. And it is proven, although he was not used, my youngest, he was not used to studying or memorizing. I can see it's so natural and easy for him. So I'll push him. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why not memorizing something if it's fun for him? For my daughter, she has a hardest time, so I'll give her everything in little doses. And I will teach her that she doesn't have to compete with the rest, she's competing with herself. She needs to see improvements in herself and have better grades compared to what she had the first month. So that's all she can do, and that's what we focused on.
And when you were in New York, you were pretty much happy and hands-off?
I didn't have to do anything.
Oh.
Teachers told me that the kids were doing great in every aspect, and they were very independent. The teachers did not expect the parents to help the kids. It was ready, any homework was at their level, and they were supposed to understand what it was being taught. I feel like in Spain, if the parents are not helping, the kids have a very hard time.
But in the school in New York, does it represent a common school, or is it like a unique school?
I think my school is very representative of most of schools in New York nowadays. Although my school might be a little more progressive because they've been the pioneers for the social emotional learning. They come up with new names for the kids to understand. For example, they teach them between little problems, medium-sized problems, and big problems. And depending on the size of the problem, the kid can react accordingly, because you know how sometimes the kid they break the pen and they just have a huge tantrum, right? So they have words for that, so they teach them this is like type 1 problem, and they know how to self-regulate. So these kind of things I see my kids telling to each other. You have glass head. Glass head is when your head explodes because they are so overwhelmed and they want to hit someone and break things. So if they tell each other, so the classmates will tell each other, you are getting into glass head, or you are
they're really good at communicating their emotions and how to express
by
it
naming
properly.
In America, they believe very deeply in that when you have a name for things, then you can understand them better and then work on them better. If there's no name, everything is very abstract and you're just having a tantrum for no reason. So that way, it's just not about them. It's just the situation was triggering and this is what happened. It's okay. You can self-regulate by yourself and you can breathe. And for a test, the kids, they know if they are very anxious, they do
breathing exercise.
But touching their hands because the kids sometimes needs a little physical thing.
Of course, to calm themselves.
Those are good techniques that they are taught.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank
Julia.
you.
Thank you. So I guess today our key takeaway is depending on where you are, and your kids are different no matter what, right? So, the education system would be different, so then we just need to adapt and adjust, but at the same time, we still allow our kids to be themselves, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much today,
you.
Julia. So hopefully we can talk again. Thank you. Bye for today. Bye. 喜欢影片的话，请记得按赞、订阅、加分享。哦，还有按小铃铛，所以你才知道最新更新的影片。如果你对于教养有其他题目想要知道的话，再留言跟我们说。